gets him swinging.
This week, Joe Davis almost called a perfect game by Clayton Kershaw. If you tune into the World Series on Fox this year, you're going to hear this.
Joe Davis with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz.
Fox announced that Joe Davis will replace Joe Buck as the lead announcer on the World Series alongside John Smoltz. Joining us now to talk about that and more is Joe Davis. Joe, welcome to The Issue Is for the first time, and congratulations.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it very much.
All right, so when did you get that news? How did you get the news? In that moment, does it like bring you back to your childhood?
Yeah, so I kind of, like everybody else, just saw the rumors coming out that there was a chance that ESPN was going to go after Joe Buck, and my ears perked up immediately. But it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll believe that when I see it. And I was actually in Las Vegas doing the Pac-12 basketball tournament, and my boss at Fox flew into Las Vegas and sat down with me, and he said, "I'm here to offer you a chance to be the voice of baseball." And I lost it. I lost it like a woman being proposed to, I guess. I kind of
the ugly cry, the whole thing.
It was not great. It was not great. But yeah, obviously a dream come true.
Well, bring us back to your childhood and when you thought about becoming a broadcaster. What made you want to do that? And sort of, was this the dream?
Yeah, honestly, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, had you asked me then, what do you want to do when you grow up? I would have told you, I want to announce the World Series. So I was lucky that I had that foresight. And from the time that I started thinking about what do I want to be when I grow up, as soon as you start having those thoughts, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I think it's okay if you don't have any idea what you want to do, but certainly helps if you can figure it out early. So it kind of guided my decision making on how I picked a school and what I did while I was in school, and definitely set me ahead of the curve, knowing it's exactly what I wanted to do at a really early age.
Well, ahead of the curve is a bit of an understatement. You're 34 years old right now in this gig. I'm 35, and many of us are very excited for you and amazed that you're able to make this happen. Let's talk about your main day job, which is also pretty cool, which is calling Dodger baseball games. This week, you almost called a perfect game. You called an exciting home opener as well. The Dodgers have quite a roster this year. Is this the best roster that you've ever seen assembled?
I think it's the best lineup that I've seen. I think still questions about the pitching, especially the starting pitching. What's that depth going to be like? We've seen, Alex, in recent years, such deep starting staffs where it's like, how are you going to find starts for all these guys? And it always winds up sorting itself out just because of injuries. So you hope that that depth doesn't get tapped into a ton. You got a few guys down in the minors that I think are going to help out starting pitchers as the year goes on. If you can just get to midseason and you give those guys time to develop a little bit more, you have Dustin May coming back from Tommy John surgery in the second half, then yeah, I think then you start to think this may be the best roster that at least I've seen, because the lineup certainly is the best that I've seen.
Well, and that lineup, when it gets going, is pretty scary for somebody to face.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top of it, and it's like, wait a minute, this is the Dodgers. You have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner are 1, 2, 3 in the order. Had you told somebody that 4 years ago, they would have been like, wait a minute, were you playing a video game and you just trade all the best players to the Dodgers? Because it's crazy. You had Mookie Betts beat him in the World Series in 2018. They got him. You had Trey Turner knock him out in 19. They went and got him. Freddie Freeman knocks him out, wins the World Series last year. They go and get him. So it's pretty incredible for sure to be calling games of this team, which is always so loaded, and never more than this year.
What's crazy is that the Dodgers have assembled an all-star team for 2022, and the Lakers assembled an all-star team from 2009. So it seems to be working better to have all the guys in their prime. You have been with the Dodgers since 2016. They've been really good since you've been there. In 2017, you officially took over for probably the greatest broadcaster ever in sports, Vin Scully. What did he teach you about broadcasting?
I think the big thing that he taught me was to be myself. And I'm sure you've had people tell you that too, as you get going in this industry. And it sounds simple and it sounds easy, but I think the tendency for anybody is to try and be what the person before them was. And like you'd be stupid not to try and learn from the person before you. but it's a fine line between trying to be Vin and learning from Vin and taking things from Vin. And it's the same advice that Red Barber gave him when he started in 1950. Be yourself. Let yourself come through. Take ideas from other people, things that you like, things that you don't, but apply it to you and let yourself shine through. And I think especially in baseball, when that's every day, you're going to get exposed if you're not being yourself, because you're on TV for a long time, for a lot of days, every single day.
Well, and Vin famously worked solo, didn't have a color guy. You are paired with one of the all-time great Dodgers, Orel Hershiser, and it's clear watching you guys that even though you're from different generations, you're really close. What does Orel mean to you, and what has he taught you?
Yeah, he means as much to me as anybody in my life outside my parents and my wife and my kids, honestly. And he knows that. And our third baby's middle name is Orel, as a testament to that. So he's been, from the day that I took this job, you mentioned the team winning a lot of games. I think that's the biggest reason I haven't been run out of town. I think the second biggest reason is that we have a great time together, and he's taken me under his wing. So the team wins games, and then there's Orel. And Orel has been a best friend, a mentor. He's, he'd tell you he's way younger than his age is, and I'm probably a lot more boring than mine is. So we kind of meet in the middle, and it's special. I don't think you can't create chemistry like that. We're just so lucky that we have it, and it starts as people, and it starts with him taking me under his wing.
Meanwhile, you yourself are a young dad. Your husband, as you mentioned, you've got some of the cutest kids. We've got some pictures of them. How do you balance the two? Because your job is pretty intensive, but then also being a dad.
Yeah, I think that I mentioned I'm boring. I'm not kidding. I got my family, I got my job, and I like food, to cook it and go eat it. So it's not like I have a bunch of hobbies that are pulling my attention when I'm not working. It's really when I'm not working, what I'm doing is hanging out with my family. And I think that's important to, I don't know if important is the word, but it helps to really be present, because I don't have anything else I'd rather be doing. And having a family that understands, and having a wife who is a superstar and is as instrumental in my career as I am. It takes two to tango, and I married really well to be able to do this job like this.
Your family looks like the people that would be in the picture frame. You would buy. We like to play a game called Personal Issues on this show. We put 30 seconds on the clock, ask some of your favorites. This is rapid fire, so first thing that comes to your mind, here we go. All right, ready? With so many kids, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Right now, it's got to be Encanto.
What's your favorite TV show?
We're watching Drive to Survive currently, my wife and I are, but number one for me all time would be Breaking Bad. Number one on TV right now is Succession.
Great choices. We know you love to cook. What's your favorite food?
Love pasta. Yeah, we'll just go with pasta, going out to a real authentic Italian restaurant.
And lastly, what would be your walk-up song if you ever came up to the plate?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to have to put some thought into that one. I know I'm not allowed to in this game. I don't know. AC/DC sounds cool. Sounds like, crosses any generation. I'm sure I'd come up with something current, but let's say Thunderstruck. How about that?
That's a great choice. But before we go to break, I want to play one of my favorite songs, which is I Love LA, because that means the Dodgers won. We're hearing this song. That means they're winning. You are clearly winning at life and in broadcasting. I know I was super excited and pushing for you to get this job. You deserve it. Fox is in great hands. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, my friend. It's great to be on with you. I really appreciate it.